What's going on, guys? It's Cal here from Buffalo Sports Center. Today we're going to be discussing Keon Coleman's rookie season and if the Bills swung and missed at this draft pick. Keep in mind the Bills traded with the Chiefs in the first round to give them Xavier Worthy. The Bills would then trade back and they would select Keon Coleman with their first pick of the draft. Now, Keon Coleman, he had a decent year, right? It's a very weak receiving group that the Bills had, and Keon Coleman was supposed to be that guy who could step up, potentially overtake Shakir as the wide receiver one by the mid-season. Let's just say he did not do that, right? We look at his stats this year, 29 receptions, 556 yards, average 19.2 yards in the air, only 4 touchdowns, and his longest catch was a 64-yard completion. The thing with Keon Coleman is his speed definitely hurts him, right? He's not a very fast receiver at all. And at 6'4", he does have a decent amount of height, but he doesn't have that red zone threat height. So he's kind of right in the middle where he's not fast enough to be a slot guy, so you got to put him on the outside, and he's not tall enough to be a true red zone threat. So a lot of the times the fades did not work. We saw that one touchdown against the Seahawks. That's something he's capable of, right? That fade in the end zone, but he's not going to be just like a monster out there. He's not going to end up being like a Julio Jones, just a red zone threat in his prime. We knew that going into this year, right? And I think that Keon Coleman was set up for failure this year. It was kind of disappointing to see the fan base's reaction to a lot of his games. A lot of people calling Keon Coleman a bust. I actually made a video, is Keon Coleman a bust, early on in the year, just, kind of speculating what I was seeing on the field. Listen, we knew Keon Coleman was going to be a mid-tier receiver at best this season. Again, a second-round draft pick who very well could have been a third-round draft pick based on his combine results. Keon Coleman, again, in college, made some aggro catches, right? Some one-handed spectacular catches. But even in college, he didn't outrun people. He didn't, he didn't out-juke people. He's not the best route runner. The Bills drafted Keon Coleman based on a necessity, and that's something that we can look back at Kaiir Elam, right? They needed a cornerback. They took the best one available, even though he didn't really have the measurables or fit their scheme, and we saw how that turned out. Again, Keon Coleman, a great character. You gotta love the guy, right? He's funny. He embraces Buffalo. The only issue with him is he was drafted to fill a void that he is incapable of filling. And do I think Keon Coleman could be a solid receiver for years to come with the Bills, especially under his rookie contract? Yes, I'm not saying Keon Coleman is a bad receiver in any stretch of the imagination. What I'm saying is Keon Coleman is not a wide receiver 1 and not a wide receiver 2 on a Super Bowl contending team. So the Bills, they have to look for a new option at wide receiver. You have a lot of guys on this roster who are pending free agents. We'll see if they decide to re-sign any of these wide receivers. Again, you got guys like Shavers on the practice squad who you could see make the roster maybe next year if they decide to switch things up a little bit. But enough is enough. You have to get Josh Allen these weapons. And I get the whole Stefon Diggs situation, right? We knew going into last year, you got rid of Diggs, you got rid of a quote-unquote problem, even though the talent on the field was solid, right? Behind the scenes, it wasn't so good. We knew the receiving position was going to take a hit after losing Diggs. But now, next season, you cannot go in with the same group. Shakir, above and beyond what we expected. He's turned into a solid receiver. But again, a guy like Khalil Shakir is not a wide receiver 1 on a Super Bowl winning team. You have to get a better receiver. The issue is money, of course. You have to improve that defense. You have to improve that defensive line. Your secondary struggled immensely. But you look at the offense, and you got your running back in Cook, and we'll see if they re-sign him long-term. You have your offensive line signed long-term. You have the reigning, defending MVP at quarterback. There's no reason you can't get him another weapon at wide receiver. He can't be doing it by himself. He cannot win a Super Bowl by himself. He needs that one guy next to him to help him out. Imagine getting a new wide receiver 1 on this team to pair alongside Khalil Shakir and a guy like Keon Coleman. It would just be a great offense. Cook, you have that great offensive line, Allen, and then a true wide receiver 1. That would get everyone else open. Again, we look at a guy like Amari Cooper. He comes in here. I don't think the guy knew any of the plays in the playbook the entire season. I mean, he just looked lost out there. I tried to sugarcoat it a little bit during the season. I tried to hold out faith that they were saving some plays for Amari Cooper, but they really didn't do anything with Amari Cooper. So that's unfortunate. I don't see the Bills re-signing him. I know there were some talks to re-sign him, but if you're going to re-sign him, at least utilize him a little bit, right? It was just a waste of a move and an unfortunate series of events that led us to the playoffs where he still didn't do anything, and the Bills really struggled passing the ball. Besides that wild card game, of course, the Broncos were not the best of teams. But yeah, back to Keon Coleman. Let me know in the comment section below. Do you think Keon Coleman's a bust? Did you expect more from him? Do you think that injury this year hindered his ability? I'm in the middle, right? I did not have high expectations for Keon Coleman like a lot of other people did. I didn't really love the draft pick. I love Keon Coleman as a person. Like I said, he is hands down one of the funniest players on the team. He is, great to watch in media and practice, but on the field during games, he's nothing more than a wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 on a Super Bowl contending team. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching this video, and peace out.